Okay, I think Joanna, we can start. Welcome everyone to our We Rise open call info session number 2. We are organizing this one together with my colleague Joanna Pereira, EU Projects Coordinator at Fast Track BC, based in Portugal. And my name is Cristina Zumacero. I'm a Senior European Project Manager at Euroquity BPI France. We are a matchmaking platform. And we are happy to host you here for this info session. We will try to answer all of your questions. And I would like now to introduce our agenda for today's. It will last this session 1 hour. It will be recorded, and you will receive this video with the slides that we will present. So first of all, we will go through the program overview. My colleague Joanna will start. Then we will share with you this application process, and we will continue with the selection process, which are the main topics that will be assessed. And then we will try to sum up, and then we will answer all your questions on the chat. You can type then on the chat, and then if there are some questions that we cannot answer because of the time, please don't forget to send us this to our info@werise.eu email. I will type it as well on the chat. So that's pretty much it, what I wanted to mention in this agenda. I would like to welcome Joanna Pereira to introduce the program overview. Please, Joanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Christina. So hello, everyone. Very happy to be here with all of you. Thank you for attending this Info Day session. So we are going through some information about the program. And before we start, I would like to point out, as Christina said, if you have any questions, just feel free to write it in the chat and we'll be happy to reply. So first of all, we like to start with who we are. So We Rise it's a European funded project with the main aim of empowering underrepresented female entrepreneurs in GreenTech, AgriTech and ClimateTech through a strategic blend of funding and tailored support. So the project aims to amplify the market presence of high potential women-led startups, particularly coming from emerging European economies. So We Rise, if you go to the next slide, We Rise is formed by a consortium of 5 European entities. So Fast Track Venture is based in Portugal, is a VC firm focused on deep tech, working closely with the ventures to support entrepreneurs to become investment ready and scale their business. Then we have G-Force based in Slovakia, which is a pre-seed VC investment fund for climate tech startups. And then Toro Ventures, based in Spain, is a financial advisory and strategic business consultancy company. And Suntech Park, based in Lithuania, which is a non-profit organization committed to fostering entrepreneurship. And last but not least, we have BPI French, which is a French public investment bank. So following this initial presentation about the project, we will now focus on the program itself. So the next slide, please. Thank you. So We Rise is looking for female-led startups in the sectors of GreenTech, AgriTech, and ClimateTech. So who is eligible to participate in this program? So basically women-led startups, and this means a company that is compliant with the SME definition provided by the European Union, with a woman as a co-founder, CEO, CTO, or CSO at the time of application. Companies operating in the fields of green tech, agri-tech, and climate tech, deep tech startups, and meaning that the startup must show evidence of development of advanced and disruptive technologies, and companies funded before January 1st, 2025. And the next slide, please. The startups must be legally established in EU member states or associated countries to Horizon Europe. And preference will be given to moderate and emerging innovator countries. And at least 60% of participants should come from these countries. And we'll look at it in more details in the next few slides on this. The applicants must also meet at least one of these transversal criteria. So either the maturity level with the product market fit with TRL 6 to 8 and validated by initial clients, or the funding stage, and the company here must have raised at least 300K euros in public or private funding. So applicants shall meet the eligibility requirements for the entire program duration. So this next slide here presents or shows the details of what are the moderate and emerging innovator countries as defined by the European Innovation Scoreboard. And we included here these countries as within the EU member states and also the associated countries of Horizon Europe. Please note that this classification is at national level and not regional level. Then regarding the sectors, as mentioned, so the next slide, please. As mentioned, we are looking for startups operating in the fields of AgriTech, GreenTech, and ClimateTech. So AgriTech here refers to the application of advanced technologies and digital innovations to enhance agriculture practice, improve productivity, sustainability, and efficiency, and reduce the environmental impact. Then GreenTech refers to innovative technologies and business models that promote environmental sustainability, improve resource efficiency, and reduce negative ecological impacts. And finally, ClimateTech refers to technology solutions and innovations aimed at mitigating climate change, reducing carbon emissions, and enhancing climate resilience. Regarding the deep tech, so next slide, please. Regarding the deep tech, this means that the startup innovation or the innovation within your company should aim to provide concrete solutions to societal problems by finding its source in a deep interaction with the most recent scientific and technological advances, and by seeking to promote a profound impact in the target application areas. So deep tech is a technology. It's technology that is based on cutting-edge scientific advances and discoveries. And also please note that deep tech is different from high tech, which means tends to refer only to R&D intensity. Okay, now looking into the WeRise journey. So the program will support in total 40 startups in 2 cohorts, so 20 startups in each open call, and has a total of 1.2 million euros of financial support to third parties. So the program is structured in 2 phases, and we will see more details about them in the next slides. So in phase 1, if you can go to the next slide, please. In phase 1 nurture, we will select 20 startups that will enter a 3-month support program. And during this period, the startups will develop a strategic action plan, which is a roadmap tailored to each of the startups' growth objectives. And they will also benefit from specialized training workshops, a curated learning nuggets library, a dedicated individual business coaching, and collaborative peer learning through structured thematic roundtables and peer review sessions. Then for phase 2, so going to the next slide, the bloom phase, WeRise will select 10 of the most promising startups from the initial 20 selected in phase 1. And this acceleration stage will have a 4-month duration, and startups will move from planning to execution with a strong focus on investor matchmaking, stakeholder engagement, and strategic business development. So during this period, the startups will implement their strategic action plans, focusing on product development, market expansion, and investor engagement. And they will also benefit from one-on-one business coaching, advanced workshops, investor matchmaking activities, and networking and market exposure through matchmaking sessions and the showcase and investor demo day. And now moving on to the next slide, please. So besides the support showed in the previous slides, the select startups will also receive funding. So for phase one, the 20 startups will receive 5,000 euros each that will be paid upon the signature of the sub-grant agreement. And then for phase two, the 10 selected startups will receive 50K that will be paid in accordance with a payment distribution. So 50% will be provided with a sub-grant agreement signature, 40% after the midterm review checkpoint, and 10% after the participation on the showcase event, which represents the end of the support program. So the next slide, please. So how can startups use this funding support? So for phase one, the 5,000 euros can cover for participation to international events, conference, exhibitions, and fairs, and also the travel expenses associated to the participation of these events or meeting with investors and other stakeholders. For phase two, the funding support can be used for several other activities, including further development of the product, technology improvement, demonstration activities or testing activities involving end users and testers in product development processes, as well as develop new business models, marketing and branding costs, sales efficiency, pricing model, feasibility, and market studies. And of course, as well, participation to the international events, travel expenses associated with this participation in events, and personal costs related with implementation of the support program activities. Okay, and now I move on to the application process, and I leave the floor again to Christina. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. Now I will try to explain this application process. Some of you are already part of our greenhouse community on Euroquity, and this is how you receive the invitation to join this info session. Some of you, you are not part of this community yet, but you can join. And this is an important step to log in and to have access to our application form. Then we will ask you to fill out with all the information and all the details. I will start now with the website. So basically, when you are visiting our website, you have all the information, all the details that Joanna mentioned, and you will be able to click on apply now and register on Euroquity and accept the invitation. There is a specific link. You can QR code this link and then you will be addressed to our Euroquity website, to the greenhouse community, and we will ask you to create or log in, if you already have an account, your profile. Just I want to differentiate two steps, because you can have a personal profile and you can have an organization profile. You need to create an organization profile to be part of the greenhouse community. As an individual, you cannot, and this is the most important step that some of you might be missing. So then you will be able to, once you're part of the community, you will be able to apply to the open call. You can click on this button. If you have any issues, you will be able to reach out through info@wayrise.eu. I'll share the email And then you will be able to get access to our application form. It takes some time. Please make sure you do it in advance, because we will ask you to update some essential documents that we will be evaluating. And you can save it. You have the possibility to save it and finish it later. And then there is a declaration of honor that we will ask you to submit, and you will be able to download it from the data room of the community. So I'm your contact person. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on this. So now we continue with the selection process. Please, Joanna, the floor is yours again.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so now talking a bit about the selection process. So the selection process for the We Rise Open Call was designed to ensure fairness, transparency, and adherence to the principles of inclusivity and impartiality. And the same process will be applied to both phases of the We Rise Open Call. So the first step is the submission and initial review. So applications are submitted through the Rockety platform, as Christina mentioned, and then the eligibility check team will review all applications for compliance with the eligibility criteria. Then moving to step 2, which is the assignment of evaluators. So applications will be distributed among the evaluation committee members, and each application is assigned to 2 evaluators for an independent review. The evaluators will then assess the applications based on a predefined evaluation criteria, and the scores and justification will be recorded in a standardized template. Then the next step is the consensus meeting. So if there are any discrepancies between evaluator scores, the evaluators and the evaluation committee chair will meet to discuss and resolve these differences. And the final score is determined through consensus. Then we have the final selection, and applications will be ranked based on their final scores. And the top ranked proposals, meeting all the required quotas, are selected for the program. And the final step is the feedback and results communication. So all applicants will receive the evaluation feedback of their application. Okay, and moving to the next slide, please. So now more information about the evaluation criteria itself. So for phase 1, there are 3 main evaluation criteria. The first one is the alignment of the proposal to the We Rise objectives. The second is related with the review of the application form. So the evaluators will analyze the team, so like the core team composition, skills, the experience, and so on. The excellence and innovation, so the level of innovation within the market and how the project is novel. The TRL level of the product, and so on. And then the impact, so the market definition and sizing, the competitive landscape, and the scalability of the business model. And the final criteria is the review of the ERL assessment, so to determine the startup's current maturity, alignment, and consistency with application, growth potential, and overall readiness for investment. So all criteria have the same weight, and the maximum score obtainable is 15. So about the ERL assessment, so the next slide, please. The ERL is the Investment Readiness Level Assessment. This is a self-assessment questionnaire to evaluate the investment readiness of the startups, where we ask applicants to provide information about 6 key areas that are critical to understand the startup's maturity and support needs. And these areas include the entrepreneurial idea and innovation, the team, the product or service, the market, the impact, and financial information. So next slide, please. Okay. For phase 2, there are 2 main evaluation criteria. So the first one is the alignment, again, to the We Rise objectives, and the second one is the completeness and coherence of the strategic action plan developed in phase 1. So all criteria have the same weight, and the maximum score here is a 10. And now just a quick overview of the strategic action plan. So the next slide, please. So the main common components of this roadmap are the goals that should be clear and measurable, the strategy development, which means the pathway to achieve these goals, an action plan, so detailed plan including actionable steps, possible parties, and timelines. Performance indicators to measure progress, and a realistic implementation timeline with milestones. And I think that's it. I will leave the floor to Cristina. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanna. So I would like to end up with the timeline. The open call, it was launched already in December 4th, and it will be open until February 12th at 5 p.m. Brussels time. So far, we didn't decide to extend, but this is the key deadline that you should not forget. Please submit your application as soon as possible. If you have any technical issues, you can always reach out to us. The eligibility check and evaluation most probably will start in end of February and will until beginning of March, and the program will kick off in April 2026, with the phase one nurture and continuing with bloom part. So what can you expect? Just to sum up, you could receive up to 50,000 euros in grant. You can receive as well some coaching and mentorship with our industry experts that will help you to refine your strategy and your business model. We will do as much as we can to connect you with investors and corporates that can help you in your growth. This, of course, there will be trainings. This is online. There will be workshops on fundraising, market positioning, revenue models, and regulatory compliance. And we will support you in providing you more visibility and showcase your startup at networking. You need to be you need to have time for this accelerator to get the maximum of 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 the time you put in it. And you will be part as well of our community, so with connecting you with other founders, investors, and industry leaders. And then before I start into the Q&A section, if you don't mind, we would like to take a family picture with you, and then we will continue with the questions. I saw already my colleague Jana started to answer them. If you can connect your webcam, and we will take a family picture, if you don't mind. This we will use on a second. Okay, I see many faces. I will be taking now the picture. Great, that is great. Thank you very much for this pic. And yeah, we will start with the questions. Okay, so we start from the very beginning. I guess just to clarify, Joanna, maybe you can clarify the issue related to the countries. This was a question that it was quite often asked.
So thank you, Christina. Yeah, regarding the eligible countries, so all companies established in the EU member states or Associated countries to Horizon Europe are eligible to apply. So this includes UK. I saw there was a question regarding UK. Yes, UK is eligible to apply. Preference will be given to the countries classified as emerging or moderated innovator countries, as classified by the European Innovation Scoreboard. But all countries, all member states and associated countries can apply. Yes.
Yes. I believe already in the cohort 1 you have an UK, a British company, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So they are fully eligible. Then there is also the common question about this MVP testing, the maturity, I guess, of the technology. If you can please clarify on this.
So yeah, one of the eligibility criteria is the transversal criteria. That means that the applicants should comply at least with one of these two sub-criteria, which is the maturity level. And this is a product market fit with the TRL 628 and validated by initial clients. So when you are submitting your application, you need to explain if you are in this stage and justify if you are in this stage of TRL 628. And the product has been validated by initial clients. This does not necessarily mean that the clients should be paying customers, but there should be any specific contract or partnership or agreement with potential clients when they are validating the product. The other sub-criteria, so either this one, the maturity level, or the funding stage. So this means that the company must have raised at least 300K in public or private funding. So this means you must have secured or closed the funding round of at least 300K with private investment or through public grants.
Thank you. Aysegul is asking about if personal individuals can apply or it's just organizations.
Yeah, it must be established company, so it should be a company that is already registered. And the funding year, so companies must be registered before the 1st of January 2025.
Thank you. Then again, on the question of the funding, they should have funding raised 300 in public and private. Is there any difference?
Yeah, so as I explained before, so 300K must be a closed round, either private investment, so coming from VCs, business angels, or other private source, or through public grants. So it's a combination of the two. Yeah.
Thank
And I
you.
see, Christina, I see your hands raised. Maybe we can also open the mic and let Alexandro ask the question, maybe.
Yes, hi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I represent a startup, which is a research center spin-off.
Yeah.
We developed our technology with 8 million euros in budget, and part of the budget was also allocated to establish the company and to start doing business development from the company instead of from the research center. And I wanted to ask if, because we had about 500,000 budget dedicated to making the company work, if that accounts as funding for the company, even though it's not specifically written that the grant is given to the company, but it's given to the project the company is carrying.
If it's the company receiving that amount of money, either it's a grant, I don't know if it is a grant or if it's like a reimbursement investment or a private investment. So, but it must be granted to the company. So even if it is for a specific project, but it's granted to the company to execute that project, that will be considered within this criteria. Yes.
Okay, so if the research center received the company and then put the money, receive money and then put that money to establish the company, but the grant is given to the research center, that doesn't count as funding, right?
No,
Okay.
that does not count. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So on our website of WeRise, you can see the previous cohort. This is public information. For those that have applied in the past, some of them, Joanna, they are saying that they did not receive the feedback, or can you please confirm if they can apply again?
Yeah, so if you're not receive feedback, so probably there was an issue, you can contact the project team through the info email, and we will take a look at it. But yes, you can apply again to this new open call.
There is also a question about the grant. So there are two types of grants on WeRise, the 5,000 and the 50,000. Can you please explain this again?
Sure. So WeRise is structured in two phases, and in first phase, 20 startups will be selected and will receive 5,000 euros. And this amount of the grant can be used to participate in international events, conference, fairs, etc., and also to cover travel expenses associated to those participation or meeting with investors or other stakeholders. Then in phase two, so from the 20 startups, 10 will be selected to move on to phase two, and here they will receive 50K that can be used in different type of activities, from further development the product to business development activities, as developing marketing studies or business new business models, as well as participation in events, travel associated with those events and other meetings, and also personal costs dedicated to the project activities, to the acceleration activities. So the salaries of the persons that are working, they can be allocated to these grants. So just have in mind that the hours allocated from the persons working on the acceleration program, participating in an acceleration program, can be allocated to the grant and can be used for that. Yes.
Thank you, Joanna. Then they are asking a bit more of information on the coaching and mentorship. If you can give some more details on how is it scheduled, what is it included?
Yeah. So in both phases, so in phase one and phase two, so in phase one, there's a 3-month acceleration program, and then in phase two, there's a 4-month period. And during these both phases, dedicated coaching and mentors will be assigned to the startups, having in mind their specific needs as well. And the timing of these sessions, let's say, with the coaches, will be scheduled directly with the startup, having in mind, of course, the activities that are planned for the acceleration program in the both phases, but then this will be scheduled individual between the coaches and the startups. I don't know if I answered the question, but yeah.
Thank you. Milena, she's having a question. I activate your microphone if you want to give us more details on your question. Don't hesitate. I think there was also again the question about the raising funds of 300,000 on the technology readiness level. You can just comply. You need to fill out both criteria, or it's just one. Joanna?
Yeah, from the transversal criteria, you need to comply at least with one. So either the maturity level or the funds raised. Yeah, and I see your hands raised, so maybe you can also open the mic.
Yes, Julistan. Please, Julistan, if
I think you are with the mic, it's closed. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in fragrance and flavor industry, and we would like to start production of essential oils. Is it involving the AgriTech? Where can I have more details about AgriTech? If we can apply on this sector.
Yeah. So again, WeRise is only supporting startups operating on those fields. So deep tech combined with those three sectors, AgriTech, ClimateTech, and GreenTech. And you can find the full definition of this in the open call guidelines that are available in our website and also in the greenhouse community. And there's within the open call guidelines, there's a section about these terms and definitions, and you can check it over there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see another question from Aditi. You can activate your mic if you want. Okay. Is there there is also a question about is it required to apply personally by founder or any team member is allowed to apply? Can you clarify who should be participating to this accelerator in the team?
Yeah, so the application itself, it can be submitted by anyone in the team. The program is focused on women-led startups, so the participation to the acceleration program is required somehow that the persons participating are these women-led roles. Okay, so either the co-founders, the CEO, the CTO, the CSO. Of course, other team members can also participate depending on the activities, but since it's targeting women-led startups, it is expected their participation in the program.
Okay, thank you. Ashley, she's asking that her company is an edtech company. Would this profile be considered eligible if they use deep tech based solutions?
Sorry, can you repeat again? Sorry, I didn't get the first part.
It's an edtech company, education tech company, but their solution is based on deep tech. They ask if they would be considered eligible for the program.
No, for WeRise, we are not supporting educational sectors, so only startups operating in GreenTech, ClimateTech, and AgriTech technologies and solutions can be eligible.
Thanks. Question as well about grants. Are they equity-free grants, safe?
Yes, they are non-reimbursable grants.
Can you explain, please, the phase 2? So phase 2 attribution is after the 3 months of phase 1. Maybe clarify a bit on this.
Yeah, the possibility to apply to phase 2 is only reserved to the startups that have been selected to phase 1 and have conducted the 3 months acceleration program. So that from the 20 startups that have been selected through this open call, that they will participate in the 3 months acceleration phase, and then afterwards there will be an open call to evaluate these 20 startups, and 10 will be moving on to the next phase.
Thank you. Then there is also a question of how many hours of meeting with investors is planned?
We don't have a specific number of hours established for this. It will deeply depend on the activities with investors that we will do, and also the stage of each startup and the investment readiness of each one. So there's not specific limit, not a specific limit of hours of investor meetings or investor engagement. don't know if there is any other questions. I saw that Jan has already answered some of them. Thank you, Jan.
A question on the coaching and mentorship proposal in detail, if there is a web page or slide deck dedicated to this part, maybe with the names and background of the coaches.
I believe in the WeRise website, you can find information about some of the coaches that were working with us in the first for the first cohort of startups. But yeah, more information about the coaches, the specific coaches that will support the new startups in this new cohort will be shared once we start the program.
Then I see a question from Milena. Maybe you can activate your microphone if you want.
Or maybe Milena is having some issues with the microphone. This is a very specific question about your activity or your startup. We recommend that you send it through the info email of WeRise, and the team will be happy to look at it and provide you feedback.
Then is there any guideline for the location of operations and the scale?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. So maybe Mariana, if you can open the mic and feel free to ask the question. I'm not sure if I understand it correctly.
Mariana, you have now the right to unmute yourself. Okay.
Maybe we can move on, and then Mariana, if you're not able to open the mic now, maybe you can specify the question here in the chat or through the info email, WeRise email. And I see a question about if the 50K will be granted in parts, and yes, what percentage. So the grants of the grant dedicated to phase 2 of the program will be provided to the startups following a predefined payment schedule. So 50% we will be provided at the beginning of the program. So when the subcontract agreement is signed, then 40% will be paid after a midterm checkpoint. So in the middle of the support program, a mid-check term point will be done, and if everything is okay, so this payment will be released. And then the final payment, which represents 10% of the grant, will be paid after the participation of the showcase event, which is the last activity, let's say, of the acceleration program.
Okay. Question from Luciana: is the accelerator program a must, or can the startup only choose to receive the grant and not to participate in the program?
No, yes, in order to receive the grant, the startup must sign a sub-grant agreement, as I mentioned before, and it's mandatory that they participate in all the established activities within the acceleration program. Otherwise, the grant will not be conceived. Yeah.
There is also a specific question from Kadri. Their startup was founded in 23. However, they changed the company structure in February 25. Would this cause any issue? Because in practice, they are operating since 23.
So it's mandatory that startups must be registered before the 1st of January 2025, and this means that you should have an official registration letter from the entity within your country that is responsible for this, that confirms that the company has been registered in a specific date that is before the 1st of January 2025.
Yeah. Will the phase 2 grant be given beforehand, or will it be like a reimbursement?
Yeah, as I explained before, the phase 2 grant will be distributed following a payment schedule, so in 3 parts. And the first part will be when the program starts, and then the next 2 will be granted according with execution activities that the startups will be doing.
Company from South Africa is asking if they could be eligible. If I'm not mistaken, only in Africa we are accepting Tunisian ones, right?
So we are only accepting companies established in the EU member states and associated countries to Horizon Europe, which I think South Africa is not included. Yep. So no, it will not be eligible to apply.
Question is, the 60% emerging countries share is only for the first selection, or also for the phase 1, or also for phase 2?
It's for phase 1 for this current open call, the 60%. Yeah.
Question about should we present our startup in general, or the idea of particular project? I guess this is related to the application form.
Yeah. So in the application form, you have specific questions or sections that you need to provide information. So there's information about the team, the innovation, or the innovative products. You can present either as a global startup or and then focus on a specific product or solution. And then within the ERL questions section of the application form, there are questions about the financials, the impact, and all of this should be considering the company as overall and not a specific sub-project.
Thank you. Yapar is asking, could you please share the eligibility criteria for 2 main focus areas, GreenTech and ClimateTech, in order to be able to fully assess my company's eligibility? I'm not sure.
So the open call guidelines provide information on this. There's the terms and definitions section where you can find a description about the target sectors or the deep tech definition. You can find the description available there. So these are available on our website on the open call 2 section, and also in the Greenhouse Eurocity platform. Yeah, there's the link there for the terms and definitions.
Yeah, we will share this presentation, so it will be clear, I guess. So, do most projects selected in phase 1 usually progress to phase 2, or is there a notable selection step in between?
I'm not sure if I understood the question. Sorry. So maybe I can explain again the process. So in phase 1, 20 startups will be selected and will participate in the program. So after the 3 months, these startups they will submit the strategic action plan that has been developed in the phase 1, and this will serve as application for the selection to phase 2. So they will be evaluated by evaluation committee team, and from the 2010 startups will be selected to move forward. I'm not sure if I replied to the question.
Okay. Melinda, 1 second. Yeah, you can activate your mic.
Hi, can you hear me now okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my question is, we have demonstrated our product to our potential clients, and they liked it. But is that it's not completely market ready yet, in the sense that it has all the final components, but not all the final design and stuff like that. So is that okay as TRL6?
Yeah, when you are submitting the application for the application, in that section where is asked about this eligibility criteria, you need to explain more in detail in how this product market fit is. So in order to be considered acceptable, let's say for TRL6. So we also recommend that you check out the TRL definitions, so you can see what is required for each of the levels, and check if your activities that you are doing right now match with this definition as well as defined by the European Commission. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Question for those that apply for Women Tech EU, they could be eligible, considering that they are doing this Women Tech EU project now.
I don't know all the criteria that that Women Tech EU has, so I don't know if they have the same criteria as we do. So we would recommend that check out our eligibility criteria to check if you your company and what you are doing is eligible with the We Rise. Yes, because not all projects or not all programs have the same eligibility criteria. So I don't know the Women Tech EU, sorry.
Great. I think we answered most of the questions. I'm sharing again the email info that you can send any other questions you might have. A question from Seda on who decides the technology readiness level.
Yeah, so the TRL is a classification on the readiness level of the technology or the solutions products that companies are developing, and this definition or these levels are defined by the European Commission, and it goes from 1 to 9. So you can check out in the European Commission website. There's a lot of information about this, the different levels and the requirements, let's say, to be classified in one of these levels.
Okay. Maybe, yeah, for both Joanna and Jana, I could say you were part of the evaluation of these applications. I guess the founders here, they would like to know if you have any recommendations for there on the applications. If there is any final tip you want to share, I think then we can conclude this simple session.
If I may, I can
Yeah.
suggest as a main, I would say what this evaluation committee is looking for, that startups are aligning with deep tech. So it means that it needs to be really a deep tech solution. And then the vertical as well. So AgriTech, sustainability tech, or ClimateTech and GreenTech solutions. So this needs to be very clear stated in the application form. And then these transversal criteria that are already on the slide. So maturity of startup and the funding stage. I would say these are the main conditions that we are looking for in the application. I don't know if Joanna, you have something else to mention?
Yes, so yeah, for the application, we always recommend try to be clear in the answers that you provide or the information that you provide. There's no need to be very large, documentation or information shared, but we're very straight to the point and clearly explain that you fit the criteria. And as Jana mentioned, to explain that you are within one of these sectors, that you are working on deep tech, the team, how it is structured, how they work, the capabilities, and so on. So yeah, it's straight to the point information. It's our main advice. Yeah.
Great. And also linked to this previous question, Mariana is asking on the validation of scalability, which is basically then what we are going to evaluate.
Yep.
Can you explain a bit?
So this will be evaluated by the evaluation committee team members. So based on the sector and activities and the product that you have, or product that you have, there will be an evaluation on how the potential of the scalability of the solution or the solutions that you have. So there's no specific details that I can give you. It's just a business analysis that will be done based on information shared. And yeah, there's a question about the origin of the startup of the founder. It's the origin of the startup. So where is registered, not the founder itself. Sorry, that's an error there in the slide. So what it counts, it's where the company is registered in the country.
Perfect. I will modify this. Thank you for the...
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I think we can finish this info session. So please, if you are also in touch with other founders that they might be interested in this We Rise info session, in this We Rise accelerator, don't hesitate to share this opportunity with them. We are planning to organize another webinar next week, in 2 weeks on the 29th with 2 testimonials from the first cohort. And you can reach out to us anytime on this info@werise.eu. I wish you a nice afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.